Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today's preview, as the All Blacks welcome the Pumas to Christchurch this weekend, looking to try and go back-to-back victories after a 3-match losing streak for the All Blacks. Very much looked a little bit more like their former selves against South Africa, as they did beat the Springboks quite convincingly at Emirates Airline Park. A very different challenge awaits the All Blacks as they welcome an Argentinian side full of confidence, but also full of changes from the side that did beat Australia in Argentina 2 weeks ago. Before we look at the two teams, please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. In terms of the teams, we'll start with the home side, and New Zealand very much going with continuity, because if we look at the side that was named yesterday compared to the side that was named against Emirates Airline Park, it's pretty much the same side. So up front, Ethan de Groot, Samisoni, Takawahu, and Tyrrell Lomax will start. I was very impressed with Takawahu, who is a very exciting player and was very sort of highly rated. Was quite also almost overhyped to a certain degree when he came to South Africa. People were very keen to see what he's going to do from his physical presence. We didn't really see it in the first test, but we very much saw it in the second test. So very interested to see how he sort of progresses his All Black career. Sam Whitelock continues to add to his long list of caps in the number 4 jersey. He has Scott Barrett next to him. Shannon Frizzell is retained after coming into the starting lineup against the All Blacks, as is All Blacks captain Sam Cane and number 8 Artie Severe. A couple of people still a little bit upset that Sam Cane continues to be picked, although I thought he was pretty good against Springboks in that second test. In the back line, Aaron Smith will partner Richie Mwanga once again. I thought Mwanga very much brought a different aspect to the All Blacks side. He brings variation on attack. He brings a very different type of skill set to Beauden Barrett, who actually has dropped out of the 23 altogether. And I think the New Zealand looked a lot more dangerous, Mwanga, at 10. Not to say that Beauden Barrett was playing badly, but I think Mwanga has got the ability to bring more players into the game. Beauden Barrett very much somebody who can create something out of nothing himself as well. But pretty blessed in that sort of department. Caleb Clark, Will Jordan, Geordie Barrett will remain as the outside backs, and Dave Havili will continue his partnership with Ricky Owane on the back of a man of the match performance against the Springboks. Off the bench, Cody Taylor, George Bauer, and Fletcher Newell will be the replacement front row. Tupo Vai, Akira Awani, the two forward replacements. And then you've got Finley Christie, Quintupia. But Stephen Perafita will get his debut this weekend if he comes off the bench. The very highly rated fly half has been in the squad for a while, but hasn't really had an opportunity to get some game time as of yet. So very interested to see how he will go in All Blacks shirt this week. Ken was saying that it was something he never thought would ever happen. So very excited to sort of see how he goes. In terms of Argentina, a couple of changes and very much having to sort of try and match the physicality of the All Blacks. Michael Cheika has made mention of the fact that the players he has brought in are quite big and quite physical in an effort to try and front up against the New Zealand side, which will be feeling a lot more confident than maybe were about a month ago. There are a couple of big absentees for Argentina. No Juan Imhoff and no Geronimo de la Fuente, who are both injured, as well as Francisco Gomez Cardela, who also misses out. So as a result, the likes of Lucio Cinti comes in, as well as Matias Moroni, who will come back into the midfield. So, but again, adding a bit of bulk to the Argentinian side. So up front, Thomas Gallo, Julian Montoya, and Joel Slavy. Thomas Gallo becoming a bit of a cult figure in the way that he's been scoring tries for fun early in his test career. Very passionate, as most Argentinian players are. Very likable character. Very fun player to watch. And then Julio Montoya is kind of Mr. Fantastic, isn't he? I mean, after years and years and years of having a world-class hooker in the form of Augustin Crevi, he's just taken on from him and taken another step. So I've been very impressed with, especially with we took on the captaincy. We've seen a whole different level from Julio Montoya. But Joel Slavy will have the opportunity to scrum against a pretty green Ethan de Groot, who was pretty good against the Springboks, but is still quite young in his career. In the second row, it'll be Matias Alemano and Thomas Lavanini. Thomas Lavanini obviously bringing quite a lot of physicality as well, and you're going to have to, because it is quite a big New Zealand pack. And then the loose trio for Argentina is Juan Martin Gonzalez, Marcus Kremer, and Pablo Matera. Very quality filled loose trio. And when New Zealand did lose to Argentina, Pablo Matera had an absolute stormer of a game. He's currently now playing his rugby in New Zealand. Probably playing some of his, in the last couple of years, we've seen some of the best rugby of his career. Playing Crusaders and Super Rugby, so we'll be very used to the conditions, for example. But yeah, interested to sort of see how he goes this weekend. Really needs to pitch up and be physical for Argentina. In terms of their backline, Godzilla Bertano will partner Santiago Carreras, who's in the 10, and then you got Lucio Cinti, Emiliano Buffelli, and Jean Cruz Malia as your outside backs. Emiliano Buffelli is a very, very good player, and again, a player like many Argentinian players who, if Argentina start well and if they start getting some momentum, very much rise to the occasion. It's scary to think that he's just 27 years old when you think of how much experience Buffelli does bring, how important he is for Argentina. Closing in on 50 caps already. Was quite late, I suppose, in his career to a certain degree, but has very much took a while for him to really get going to his full extent, but is very much playing at the height of his abilities at the moment. He will turn 28 in January and be a very important player for Argentina in the World Cup next year. The two centers are Matias Orlando and Matias Moroni. They played a lot of rugby together. Moroni bringing a lot of physicality again, and he will have to be quite physical up against Rico Awani. Then off the bench, it's Santiago Sochino, Michael Vivas, Eduardo Bello as the reserve front row. Guido Petty comes in, and Santiago Grondona. And then you got Thomas Cabelli, Thomas Albanos, and Santiago Cadero. Also a very, very nice player to be able to bring off the bench. Somebody who's quite adept at playing around the back three, has a lot of pace, and is a lethal finisher. So this Michael Cheika side that we are seeing is a bit like, Argentina are a side that have always played a very nice rugby, and they were very much like that when they beat Australia. But unfortunately for them, similar to previous Argentinian sides, they're also a side that can concede quite a lot of points. So, we've got to be defensively up to scratch this weekend if they are to go toe-to-toe with New Zealand. It's fantastic how sometimes free scoring they are and how attacking nature they are, but unless they can really shore up the defense, they are going to get punished by New Zealand side, which did look, especially attack, far more potent than they have in the past few games in Johannesburg. But let me know what you think is going to happen down in the comments below. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.